that be?
That's me. It's Melissa.
Hey, Melissa, you able to share your
Hey.
screen?
Yeah. Let me go to my settings. One sec.
Trying to get everybody online, and then we can get started. I operate a lot better when I can see y'all's lovely faces in the morning. It motivates me.
Afternoon. I'm in Texas.
You're in Texas. Oh yeah, so I guess it is over that way. So you're a little afternoon. All right. Well, fantastic. Okay, so we will get Melissa on board here in a second, and we'll go ahead and get started. So, all right, guys. Well, how is everybody going? Everybody having a good time? Everybody's working up their business?
Trying.
Yeah, trying.
All right, fantastic. Okay. So what I'm going to be going over today, guys, is going to be, I was actually had the honor to attend the, if you're a veteran and you by chance, if you want to look it up, there is a national program called the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. So you're either a veteran or a military family member, you can actually look this up. It is they have multiple programs underneath it. And so they have a conference once a year. Hey, Gus, how you doing, buddy? So again, it's the IVMF, Institute for Veterans and Military Families. You can Google it, look it up, and they have multiple programs underneath it. They have programs from what's called the, hey Melissa, there you go. They have programs from the Entrepreneurs Boot Camp for Veterans to VWise, which is specifically for women entrepreneurs. And the bottom line is we're all in real estate. So guess what we all are? We're all natural entrepreneurs. So this is just an amazing program that you can network and be a part of. And I had the honor of actually speaking. They invited me to speak at this past year's conference in Dallas, Texas. And it was amazing. Well, in addition to that, I was also one of about 10 people that was selected to be in a mastermind with Larry Broughton. A little background on Larry Broughton. He is he owns, if you've ever been seen it, he owns Broughton Luxury Hotels. They're the #1 hotel management company in the country. He happens to also be a prior Green Beret. So needless to say, you always want to be able to connect with people who have been very successful. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the real estate space. So what I'll be doing today is sharing some fundamental things that I learned from this event that you guys can apply to your business. Now, this is more general in nature when it comes to how, it's just kind of how to live and how to kind of put your business in perspective. But again, this is all part building the foundation. So, each week we're going to focus on different topics, but we got to build the foundation first, right? So you don't build a house without the foundation first, right? So the same concept goes with your business. So the very first thing we'll talk about is the very first step is it's basically how it's like a 5-pronged approach on how to kind of live your life and focus on what it is. So let's talk about that. So how many here, and this is an interactive thing, how many here have had people in your ears saying, I don't know why you're not going to be successful in this business, or just the negative people in your life? Does anybody have that?
Yeah, I have negative people. Yeah.
All right. I think we can all say we've experienced it at some point in life, right? So the first step when it comes to this is, guys, as much as you probably want to be amazing to everybody around you, you got to get rid of those people from your life. Take them out. They're doing nothing for you and your family, right? So, and it's one of the toughest things that you'll have to do, but it's an important factor in it. You got to remove the negative chatter. And you can give them an option. And you're going to have that direct conversation if you feel it's necessary. But get in front of that person who's being negative in your life. Say, look, I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. So you either need to correct how you're being negative around me, or we probably need to look at how our relationship is. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Just an important step to take when it comes to, and that's not just business, that's in life too, guys. All right. Because remember, when we're talking about how to grow your business, is your life not intertwined with this?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Right. This is not like working a 9-to-5 job where, you could kind of separate business and life, right? Because You go into work at this time and you leave at this time. You're done, and you focus on your personal life. We're in entrepreneurship. We're in real estate. Is there such a thing as real true separation of personal and business?
No.
Unfortunately not.
No.
Now, do we have to create boundaries in that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So, and we'll talk more about that. So the next thing is focus on your strengths. Now we're gonna do a little exercise here in a few minutes that'll help, that we can really dive into this. But that's a true aspect of it. Focus on your strengths. You're gonna hear me say this before. I'm a true believer that the true level of success is surrounding yourself by people that do great at what you suck at. Now I'm going to call out somebody's on this call right now, and Jamie Bonneman, who's there at the bottom of the screen here with the plantation shutters behind her. She's a great example of where I'm practicing what I preach. Jamie is literally the yin to my yang when it comes to business. What I'm great at, she is not the greatest at. What I suck at, she's amazing at. And so we make a great partnership and team on how we do that. So as you scale your business, you need to be very, very conscious of that. And we'll show you an exercise on how to work on that later, okay? All right. The next piece is take rapid action. Anybody who's listening live to the last training session, what did I say? I said take massive action. You're going to see this repeated time and time again because everybody says that knowledge is power, but no, knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is worthless unless you take action on it. Fair enough?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Next thing is expect and embrace failure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to happen.
Oh,
Okay.
we know.
It's going to happen. And that's okay. Guys, I don't know if any of y'all are Star Wars fans, but one of my favorite sayings of all, and you're going to hear me, I use a lot of them. Yoda even said, the greatest teacher failure is. Right? So embrace it. Look at it as a learning and just take any kind of failure or any kind of setback, learn from it, and then you will go 2 steps further. So it's okay to take a step back as long as you take those 2 steps forward. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Fantastic. And last but not least, pursue excellence. All right. That means that don't settle for being okay. Always strive for excellence, especially when it deals with your clients. Strive to create that raving fan, because if you do that, it's really going to make all the difference in your business, because now your people, everybody talks about, oh, I need to market, I need to do this, I need to get postcards, I need to do this and that and this and that. Listen, if you can get your clients to become your raving fans, they become your walking billboard, and all the other stuff won't even shadow against what the business you're going to get from your referral base. Cool?
Yes.
All right. And the last thing you can see at the bottom here is we fear what we neglect to face. How many people have been subjected to this? We always want to ignore what we fear, right? Because it's the hard thing to do, isn't it? So try not to ignore the hard things. The easy things will come, but sometimes we got to work through those hard things. All right. So here's the next piece of it. What I'm about to show you next is my team's mission, vision, and guiding principles and core values. I encourage you, we are all part of Sentry, and I know Sentry has their own, but you also are creating your own business. Make sure that you have your own mission, vision, and guiding principles. And I'm going to show you an example of mine that we can kind of go through, and then I would highly encourage, I was like, well, I know what my principles are about. Why do I got to put it on paper? Me and Jamie worked on this together, and it really does. When you put it on paper, it kind of codifies what you do in your business. So I think it's a critical, important thing that you need to do. And you only got to do it once, and then you tweak it from there. So here's an example of mine, all right? So we believe in bringing the military work ethic to real estate. We are not satisfied with providing good service. We strive to provide wow service. We are dedicated to putting our client first. We follow the motto that if you chase the money, you will never catch it. But if you are always righteous about putting your clients first, the money will follow. We are a referral-based business. Therefore, our clients' satisfaction is always priority. We are a highly trained team, continually learning to be the best advocates for our client. Lastly, we are the expectation managers that never promise anything we cannot deliver. Now, does that sound something familiar to what we kind of see and was drawn to with Sentry?
Oh, yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
And guys, I wrote this before I joined Sentry. So you can see where, you know, the birds of a feather flock together. And I just wanted to kind of use that as an example to show you how it comes together. Cool?
Yes.
All right. So here's my vision. Well, here's our vision with the team. We want to be the most sought out real estate firm for our military families and our local community, consistently providing the highest level of service and expertise to our client. We dare to be different, seeking innovative ways to provide groundbreaking service to our clients, striving to be our clients' real estate team for life. All right, so that's our long-term vision. It's a lofty one, but guys, my goal is, if I achieve it, great. But my goal is I want to be the #1 sought-after military-centric real estate team in the country. Is that too lofty?
Not at all.
Nope.
All right, we all should have lofty goals and shoot for them. All right. Now we get into core values. Guys, this is a critical piece of it, right? Because it kind of identifies what you expect from your team and the people working around you. So you're going to see you're going to see where it kind of renews itself. Commitment to excellence. We're committed to all we do for our internal and external clients. First rate and superior service. Ownership of the outcome. We don't make excuses why we screw things up. We own them. Integrity. High standards of honest and strong moral principles. Doing the right thing at all times with no exceptions, even in the moments when nobody's looking. That's a tough one, isn't it? Right? We always talk about doing the right thing, but the real thing of ethics is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Communicate. Always keep an open dialogue with our clients and team. Avoid using text and email as our crutch. We talk to our clients. That's a real personal thing to me. And if y'all haven't picked up on this, if some of you guys, how many of you guys, let's be honest with ourselves, because we're all one team. How many of you find yourselves hiding behind text and emails?
Never.
All right. I guarantee you, some of you probably do, especially the younger generation.
Only my clients are behind text and email.
Just be cautious of it, because especially I'll talk about us older generation.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, everything works in cycles, and you're going to find that everybody who thinks that they're doing the right thing by doing text and stuff, they're going to lose a skill set, and that's called using this thing in the middle of your face. So you have to hone your skills, and that means you have to know how to talk, and you have to know how to communicate. Jamie, what are the things that we're going to be doing today with one of our clients that we specifically talked about this morning?
Are you talking about calling and communicating with them?
Yeah, when we were talking today, what about the skill set that I have that we're going to be using with the Hurleys?
Your talking skills. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you talk about using each other's or balancing each other on what you're really good at, which is talking and getting your point across and using the right words, basically.
And that comes, and what me and you talked about this, and we're going to keep honing on your skills too, right? And
Yeah.
the key here is that's how we do it. It's about honing. The reason why I'm so good at negotiating and communicating, because I talk a lot.
No.
So I'm an expert at talking. What can I say? Okay. Probably why they said I might be a good face for the company when it comes to training. Okay. Innovators. Here's an also important one. We're innovators. Excuse me. Can I speak now? Gosh. Progressive, enlightening, forward thinkers who are engaging in new ideas for better solutions and streamlining processes. Don't get stuck in the past, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be able to focus on the core values that work, but don't forget to pay attention to current technology, things that you still need to learn to communicate with all generations, or you will be left behind. Fair enough?
Yes.
All right. And then lastly is fearless. Able to take on challenges, difficult situations, demanding clients and tight deadlines without being reckless. Always engaging in critical thinking, and above all, having the courage to ask for help. This is such an important thing because people so much forget to ask the question. And I'm a firm believer of this. The only stupid question is what? Anybody know?
Yeah, there is no stupid question.
Well, the only stupid question is the one you don't ask,
The
right?
one you didn't ask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, anyway, so now we go on. Here's a little exercise. So I want everybody to take a blank piece of paper. And we're not going to do it all now, but it's something that I want y'all to, I'm going to show you how to do it. and then you're going to love how it works out for you. All right. So I want you to take a blank piece of paper, and I want you to do these 3 columns, and I want you to identify what you're currently doing, what you're great at doing, and what you love doing. All right. Now you're obviously, what you're doing is going to have it's going to be a big, long list, isn't it? And it's overwhelming at times, right? Remember we talked about you always feel like we're playing whack-a-mole, right? All right, so you're going to fill out this list of what you're doing. Then you're going to fill out what you're great at doing. Now you're going to realize that the stuff you're doing that you're not so great at, and then the stuff you're great at, and then the stuff you love doing. If the stuff that you love doing, do you not think you're going to be amazing at it? So how many of you guys have some kind of help, an assistant of some kind? Anybody? Is everybody a solo agent here?
I am.
Everybody solo agent? Okay. All right. So this is what this is gonna be my first step. Once you start getting to the point, now right now you're gonna have to do it. If you're a solo agent and you're doing, and here's the rule of thumb. If you're doing less than 2 to 3 deals a month, you're probably handling it on your own. You can handle it, and eventually. But here's the threshold. Once you start getting to be doing 2 to 3 deals a month, that's when you're going to start wanting to look at, because then you're going to start sacrificing the level of experience or the level of quality of what you're giving to your clients because you're going to be overwhelmed. So this is where you're going to take this exercise out and you're going to realize what you can delegate. All right. And the very first step is, and I'm going to tell you the most inexpensive way to do it, and I did this as well, is hire a virtual assistant. You can get them for uber cheap. I have a full-time virtual assistant that costs me about $1,200 a month for full-time, 9 to 6 every single day. Now that sounds like a big spend, right? But let me ask you this. Has anybody ever taken and figured out what their value is if you calculate how much you make per transaction? Has anybody done that?
Yep.
So you want to share what it is?
It's something like $238 an hour.
Wow. Holy crap.
We did this as an exercise in a program that I was in. But if you literally take your commissions for 2 or 3 transactions, it was an interesting, I don't remember how we did it, but it was ridiculously high for what a realtor made.
Exactly. So now think about this. So when you take this list of what you're doing, what you're great at, what you love, all the stuff that you're doing, now you sit there and apply your line. Okay. Can I ask somebody, if you need to free up time, because time is something you can't get back, right? If you had to free up time in your life to do something, what do y'all think do you think that maybe, for example, putting together a flyer for an open house, is that a $268 an hour job?
No.
Is working your schedule a $268 an hour job?
No.
Is managing your social media $268 an hour job?
No.
Is putting together a contract, just writing it up, is that a $268 an hour job?
Yes.
No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't get this confused. You signed the contract, but you don't need to spend an hour writing that thing up. You just need to verify, and you're going to find you're going to have less mistakes if you have somebody else writing your contracts, because now you are now inspecting what you expect, because when you write something, do you not become blind to your own mistakes?
Oh, of course, yeah.
So why not hire somebody to do this stuff, and it can be better for you? Make sense to everybody?
Yeah, but I'll take it slow. I'll write my own contracts. But when I'm doing 2 to 3 deals to 4 deals a month, and of course.
Say that again?
I said I will continue to write my own contracts until I start doing 2 to 3 deals a month.
100%. I'm giving you guys the phase to look out for, because it's one of the hardest things in business is to recognize when those next steps are in business, right?
Yeah.
When you need to hire, when you need to take the next step to scale. But it's good to know now, So that way you could truly get an idea of everything we do with real estate agents. This is where this exercise is going to be powerful for you. You're going to realize how busy we freaking are. All right? Fair enough?
Yes.
All right. So, identifying your sphere of influence. How many people here truly know what a sphere of influence contact is?
I know.
All right, James, what you got? What you got, Jim?
Well, your sphere of influence are your past clients, the
Okay.
people that are currently what I would call warm or hot clients that you're working with, that you're trying to develop to be producers.
Okay.
With me, my centers of influence are like my accountant, my attorney, people that continually refer people to me and I refer to them.
Okay.
I do a geographic mailing that I'm trying to build and put these people into my sphere of influence. So it's all those contact people that you have that are potential future clients or present clients.
All right, cool. Anybody else?
Well, when I first started the business, it was, friends and family.
Okay. We're on 5. What else? Anybody else? Michelle, you've been quiet over there ever since we put you on camera.
Melissa, not
Oh,
Michelle.
Melissa, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The names don't pop up unless you speak, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, vendors. I mean, even people that you work with, contractors, vendors, anyone that you pass by at the store, people that you talk to, they can become a sphere of influence. Friends and family. I mean, I think your top hot people that are closest to you that can kind of be a referral source. Banks, LOs, yeah.
All right, good. So does anybody, who was at the training last week, do y'all remember how many people I said y'all should have maximum in your sphere of influence database?
400.
Say again?
Should be 400.
400, right? That's probably the maximum. Now let's see what they looks like. Hey guys, bear with me 1 second. I am super sorry, but I have somebody at my front door. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Of course, everything happens just when you don't plan on it. All right. So again, I apologize for that, guys. So what is sphere of influence? So maybe this will help clear up for you. Family members, team members, employees, team members, family members, customers, clients, vendors, prospects and contacts, peers in the social media groups, clubs, followers you influence via blogs and social media, audience members at speaking engagements, readers of your books and articles, viewers of your television appearances, and listeners to your podcast and podcast appearances. How many of you guys are doing some kind of social media, like putting stuff out there?
I am. I do blogs.
Good. How many followers you got?
Instagram, I have about 12 to 14, I believe. And then Facebook, all family, friends, old high school, college friends, old employees, old coworkers. I think Facebook's like over 1,000.
Awesome. Awesome. Great start. So here's what it comes down to. The very simple definition of a sphere of influence contact is that if somebody were to ask that person, hey, do you know Joe McIntosh? Well, yes, I do. Well, what does he do for a living? Oh, he's in real estate. Great. That's a sphere of influence contact. Now, what about somebody you exchange a card with in a meeting you've never talked to and you haven't talked to them since last year? Do you think they remember who the hell you are?
No.
Are they a sphere of influence?
No.
So be cautious about identifying people you do not have a certain relationship with. Now, it can be a one-way relationship, right? I get contacted now because of all the content I put out there. I get contacted kind of on a regular. hey, listen, I've seen your videos, seen this, can you help me? Now, that I've influenced them, right, through my videos and stuff like that. So that can be classified as a sphere of influence. But if you were to ask them, who is Travis Winfield, or what does he do, even though I may not know who they are, they know who I am. Can y'all see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just ways for you guys to classify your sphere of influence. And with your 400, what's the max? So have you all ever heard, remember we talked last week about the VIPs and on your top 50 on Monday calls? All right. So of your 400, what's the maximum number of people you should be able to love on as a VIP?
50.
50. And now you may not have 50 right now, which is okay. Start with 10, whatever you have. Remember, your VIPs are people inside your sphere of influence that are absolutely loving on you, and they are becoming your walking billboards. So you need to nurture that and give them more and more love, right? Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So how much of this stuff we've gone through today, how many of y'all heard any of this crap before? Be honest.
I've heard most of it.
Okay.
I've heard some of them.
All right. So this slide should have been at the beginning, but I didn't catch it. But this is something that I just want you to change in your mentality when we're going to these trainings. And that is, the first one is, how many people have heard the saying, well, I already know that. And if you have that mentality, what do you do if you hear something you've already heard before?
You shut down.
You shut down, you stop listening. All right, so in lieu of saying I already know that, I want y'all to use the term thanks for the reminder. Okay? Because if you go into your mindset of, even if you've heard something before, it's like it's something that really becomes more head. So again, when we're doing these trainings, think like that, so that way it'll help you retain information in the future. The key here is, if you want to do great things, you need to be a great person, right? And being a great person involves doing the right thing and all these things we've already discussed. Cool?
Great.
All right, last thing I want to leave you with is this. Living your life in thirds. This is a big takeaway from me. We all have our aha moments in everything we did. The big aha moment I got from Larry Broughton was living your life in thirds. And so what do we mean by that? How many of you guys have a mentor that has already achieved what you're trying to achieve?
Well, it's going to be you.
Well, I appreciate that. And if that's the case, if I'm the one that resonates and we want to work that out, absolutely, right? But I'm talking like, and it doesn't need to be just one person, right? It can be multiple different people. Like, I look at Larry Broughton is one of my mentors now, because this guy is uber successful, owning multiple companies. I have a guy named James Becker, who's the CEO of Fusion Growth Partners, who runs my marketing. I have Joe knows, of course, worked with is Brian Shudo is a lender that we have a great business partnership, and he's taught me a lot of what I know. So the bottom line is, I have these mentors that I look up to, that I'm trying to achieve what they're achieving. So that's been a third of my life, trying to nurture those relationships. The second third of your life, you should be spending with your peer group, right? Have those get-togethers with other people that in your industry that you can build on. But I'm not just talking about real estate. I'm talking about business partnership, right? Get together with those peer groups that, although they're in a different business, they can have that quid pro quo relationship, and we can grow off each other. Like, I've become really good friends with the owner of Rough and Ready Moving Company, right? Who's here. A guy who owns a brewing company. I've become, friends with these guys, and we're all in business at kind of the same level, and we're all trying to scale. So what do you think we're all trying to do with each other?
Referrals.
Grow.
Referrals and lifting each other up and promoting each other, right? So that has been a huge asset. So then the last but not least is spend a 30 of your life paying it forward to those who are trying to get to your level. All right? How many of y'all heard the saying, you teach it once, you learn it twice?
Yes.
No, but I like that.
If you teach it once, you learn it twice. And don't think, and don't think, by the way, that if you're not doing a lot of business now that you don't really have anybody to teach anything to. That's bull crap. All right. There's always somebody that can learn from you, right? So take it and pass this information on, because if you pass it on, you're going to learn it twice, right? And help bring people up to your level.
True.
Very true.
All right. So that's all I have for this week. My quote I want to leave you with is this. Confucius say, "He who chases 2 rabbits catches none." How many people have heard that?
Haven't, but I like it.
Hey, I like it too.
This was also a big one that blew my mind, because when I first got into entrepreneurship, if you get that entrepreneurial disease, you see squirrels like you've never seen squirrels before. All right? And I'm telling you, it is bad. And you think that there's always the next big thing, and you're always like scrambling. So stop, reset yourself. Once you do that exercise on what you're great at, focus, double down on what you're great at, and just do that. Right? Catch 1 rabbit before you try to get to the next one. Because if you try to catch 2, you won't do it. Fair enough?
Makes
Very
sense.
true.
Yes, there. Yep.
All right. Was this valuable?
Of course.
Valuable.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. Well, look, I appreciate your time today. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm sure Rita can pass my information out to everybody. Feel free to call me, text me, email me, smoke signals, carrier pigeons, whatever works for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So, any questions
Thank
for
you.
me before we sign off? Nope.
Nope, I'm good.
Nada.
Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Next bad, same bad channel. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care,
Bye.
guys. Now how to turn this damn thing off. There it is.